Bumps and bruises, scratches and scrapes, some of the ingredients that a good life makes. But sorrows become success, and as we aim for the top, we will pause if we must, but we will never stop. Welcome to Sim Soul Sessions. Hello and welcome to the season finale of Sim Soul Sessions, the safe space to share your stories. Tonight, guys, I am coming full circle from June 2020, once again sitting in the big chair as the guest-ish. It's a little bit about me, but more truthfully, it's about you and what I can share with you to make your life better. Tonight's show is another How to Keep Your Head Above Water show, despite what has reached you in your life in recent weeks, months, or years. I will share how challenging things have been, particularly when you always have to be the strong one, but you feel that your strength is slowly running out. Thankfully, I knew what to do when the emergencies hit. I simply broke the glass. And I'll share what that has looked like, what has worked for me, and I have someone I trust here to help you as she has helped me. Through it all, I've always held firm to the notion that we are all here to help each other. And that is the premise of tonight's show. So, if something I have been through can help you, then I am all for it. I always say that we are never alone, and we need to surround ourselves with positive energy so that we have support when we're facing our toughest times. In the 2.5 years since this show has been on the air, I've lost my mother, one of my very best friends, the father of my child, and you guys have not left my side. You've been there every single step of the way, and I have no words to thank you, the members of this community, for the unwavering and frankly almost unbelievable outpouring of love and support that you all have offered. And you know what's funny? I started this show for you, but I realize it has done so much for me. I now feel equipped with a level of strength I didn't know I had. And every time something happens, I feel as if I unlock another level. So you who have been here with me, thank you so much for coming here, for being here, and for staying here. Season 7 is at its end. And you know I always have to check in with you guys, right, when that time comes. So here is our community feedback feature.
Sim, words cannot express how grateful I am for your program. Apart from being great entertainment, your program is a source of guidance and inspiration because it is filled with golden nuggets that leave me in awe every episode.
I'm able to look forward to something inspiring, motivational, and entertaining. I'm a known crier, and this season did not spare me. Episode after episode, I was left in tears. Tears of joy, tears of disbelief, tears from reminiscing about my own personal struggles.
I've been an avid watcher of the Sim Soul Sessions show, not only because my son makes all your fabulous outfits, but also because each and every story leaves me with a message.
The story of each guest really shows that even though we have challenges, we rise above them and we don't have to be victims of our circumstances.
It's a safe space where people tell their story in a non-judgmental zone. I also like that Simone listens and let her interviewers tell their story without being judgmental, What I also like is Simone's body language. She lets you know that she feels your pain if that's what you're going through.
I enjoyed listening to all of your guests this season. However, I must say my favorite episode was with the talented, humble, and ahead light years reggae and dancehall artist Mr. Kamal Yaxta Martin. It was my favorite episode because Kamal dropped so many life lessons.
The message that stood out to me this season came from Camilla MacDonald. She reminded us to surrender. She reminded us to surrender. And though we may have regrets about life, we should always be grateful for what was, what is, and what is to come.
But what I love especially about the program is the affirmation. I really admire how Simone, craft them so well to match the characteristics of each of these persons, and they're so profound and uplifting and encouraging.
Simone's sessions has helped me to get through some tough times in New Jersey as a caregiver, a nurse. The story that people share, I can identify with many of their stories. So whenever I'm feeling down, I'll just go and pick one of my favorite episodes.
All of your guests gave us hope. They gave us tools to go through when going through is the only option.
It is moments like these that remind us all how you and your team handpick Jamaicans who have stories that influence everyone, from the youth to the working adults and to the elderly.
Thank you so much. Continue doing what you're doing, and I must applaud you that you're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
We're living in a serious time, and it's great to have a television show that helps Jamaicans to remember that although we have hard times, we must not stop. Season 7 was amazing, and I look forward to season 8. Love you.
Thank you, Simone, for creating a beautiful and safe space for people to share their stories.
And I genuinely enjoy this program. Keep doing the good work, Simone.
Thank you, Sim. Your work is a masterpiece, and I hope you have many more seasons in the years to come. Mwah! Enough love.
Thank you guys so much. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. All right, so when we come back now, I hear you have some questions for me. I'll do my best to answer them with a little help from a familiar face. We'll be right back with more after this. Welcome back, everybody. So tonight, 2.5 years after doing it the first time, I'm back in the big chair, taking your questions in light of recent and not so recent life events. And I have a little help from a friend who ironically was here when I started the show, now that I think about it. He says I'm to introduce him as Mr. Gorgeous, Beautiful, something. Just come on and say, welcome my good friend, Neville Curtis Nefril. Bell, what's up?
You won't learn that you can't do without me.
Oh my gosh, the hard way apparently.
What you do?
Thank you for being here.
Yes, man. It's
You
my
were
pleasure.
here when we started.
Yeah, I was your second guest.
Full circle, yourself
Yes,
and
your
Dad.
Your dad was the first one.
Yeah.
On that same show.
Yeah,
And it was, even though you made me cry, it was wonderful to be
you
here.
never crying, eh?
I did.
You cry?
Yeah.
Little bit of crying. So you guys submitted viewer questions, and Nev is going to help me navigate those questions. And of course, you know, if you have your own. I'm going to take off my shoes because I feel like
Right.
Emil knows this, because I'm going to get comfortable.
Okay. Let me take off my shirt.
No, you.
So
This is not my Jamaica, sir. Let's not kill the people.
The first question comes from me, and I think I kind of know that you want.
Interviewer's privilege.
Yeah, I think I kind of knew that you wanted to do something like this. But why this kind of show?
This kind of show was important because I don't think we talk about issues that affect us enough with a view to helping other people. And I think it's important for us to destigmatize any of these issues that cause us great consternation and anxiety. And you know I've been through some stuff in my life and time, particularly in the last couple of years between, you know, just the divorce and what that brought with it and the miscarriages and what that brought with it and just having to navigate all that and feeling like I was drowning. And then getting to a point where I realized I didn't have to drown.
Okay.
So, may I share the story because other people need saving
Were
and
there
help.
other ideas in your head, and then you sat with this one, or this was just the only way you wanted to go?
I made a promise to God when I was at the bottom that if I could see my way back to the top, I owed it to Him
Right.
to share that other people can get up if you can look up, you know? So it had to start here. I mean, there are other ideas, but this had to come out of me first.
You're back to the top?
No, but I'm working my way up to the
All
top.
right. Again,
Yeah.
thanks for asking me to help with this one.
Sure.
Dwayne Tracy says, what is the best part of the show for you?
The best part of the show for me is actually what the show does for other people. So I had no idea it was going to take off the way it took off. But just each week, reading the testimonials and looking at the comments from people who realize they're not alone in their struggles, who know that not because your name never bell, your world is not okay, that you are just like them, but you are sitting here and speaking, having gone through what you've gone through, but you've gone through it. So it's an inspiring journey for many people. It's a beacon of hope and of light for a lot of people. And so for me, the impact is
By
the
the way,
best.
you reach
best
out to
part of
them,
it.
or they reach out to you?
I reach out, you know, I have a lot of people. Funny story, Nev. Initially, it was tough to get people because of the stigma we have around talking about things like this. But now I find a lot of people reaching out to me. But in large part, I do the reaching out to folks.
Sassy Tatricia says, I know God is with you, but how do you connect? I pray, but I'm drowning in distress.
Yeah. Despair is a dark place. And sometimes, what's her name?
Sassy
Sassy.
Tatricia.
Sassy, some days you're going to feel like you cannot. You just can't. And on those days, you have to allow yourself to cannot. Because there will be days when you can't manage. And I always preach giving yourself grace, you know? Don't push yourself too hard on the days when you just cannot. And there are some days when you will not be able to pray because you can't find the words. And that's okay. That's okay, because there will be another day when you can. And on the day when you can is when you say, Lord, I couldn't manage this for the last couple of days, but you understand why. I'm in a position to do so now. So when you have the chance and you find the words and you do it, but you have to give yourself grace. Nev, some days you just have to pause. You don't stop, but you pause, you regroup, and you go again.
You have tissue in that box?
Always.
Athena Scarlett says, what is your most memorable moment on your TV show and why?
The most memorable moment, it's hard to choose one, but I would have to say it would be the first one, simply because getting the program off the ground was such a challenge, but we were able to put it together and really quickly with an amazing team, but also because I got to do it with Mom, Dad, and Aaron here. And I often look back at that picture when we were all together, and I think back now on how much has changed during that time, but it feels good to me still because she was here and she saw it And she saw it become a success before she left us. And so to me, that is the biggest blessing that I could have ever. Oh my.
Tissue in this box over here. I'll probably go have to come over here.
Oh no.
Gordon Hall says, considering all you do to get people's stories out there, who checks in and looks out for you?
Why? That is an excellent question. So I have really good friends, a very small circle, but really good friends. My dad has been a rock. And let me tell you about my child, who is a 12-year-old, 50-year-old. I mean, she does not leave my side. And she is my biggest motivation right now, and she does her best to take care of me. I must admit, though, I need a little more self-care, and I'm working on that. And then the community that I've built through the show, and just having been on the air for so long, you know, when things have happened, they're always rallying. Sim, we have you. Sim, we have you. So I feel like I have even outside of the small circle, a strong layer of support.
This is almost the same question. It comes from Juliet Fife. And Juliet says, with all the hurdles that you have to jump over, what keeps you kind, generous, and supportive to others around you?
That feeds me, you know. In the days when I'm at my lowest, just being able to see somebody else smile or happy, and to know that I could have had something to do with that, feeds my soul. I just love pouring into people. I love seeing people smile. You know, I'm the biggest idiot. I love making people happy. And, you know, it's a big motivator for me, even on the days when I don't feel like it. And because I know that I love when people do that for me, I try my best to do it more for other people as well.
Two more questions. This one comes from Sashana. How do you stay so strong for yourself and family, knowing what you went through for the last couple of years?
First of all, I don't know if I'm strong. I hear people say it all the time. I don't even know if it's true. But it's two things. It's faith. I've had to pull a lot on faith. If I never knew before about God and his amazingness, I know now, because for the last 2.5 years, I've literally been carried. There's some days, never you know, when I come to work in the mornings, that I am on autopilot. I don't have it. I don't have the strength. I don't have the will. I don't want to be there. I don't want to do nothing. And it's the grace of God himself that carries me through. One set of footprints in the sand.
Yeah. This follow-up is from me, because having said that, have you ever questioned the Heavenly Father? Because as you said, you've had some issues, and you know, sometimes you kind of say, why me? Do you ever go there?
Never. As a matter of fact, what these situations have helped me to do is to understand that God's will is God's will, God's timing is God's timing, and to understand that I have to trust his divine will, even when it hurts me, because he is all-knowing and his timing is perfect.
How long it took you to reach there?
You know, it would have been when I lost Mommy, because if there was no stone we could have turned over to keep her here. Everything that was humanly possible was done, and so in that moment, and in a bid to keep your sanity, I had to just say, thy will be done. I don't understand it. I don't like the fact that it happened. Sometimes you get a little angry, but I don't question why anymore.
Yep. Final question is a double-barrel one, and it comes from @Colson Anderson.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Who gave Colson an opportunity to ask a question? Yes, Colson.
Would you get married again? I think I know part of the answer. Yeah, I know the answer to part of the question. Would you get married again, and do you want more kids?
Which one do you know the answer to?
if you'd get married again.
I would answer is what?
Yes.
Absolutely, positively tomorrow. If that's the one thing in my life that I think I am missing and I crave the most. And that has been the most difficult in this time because, people don't understand the impact of human touch and from a special. I feel like I want to just get the biggest, longest hug in my life where I can just put my shoulders down and just bawl on the right person. And I miss that. So yes, I would get married again. And I hope to get married again. As far as the children, being 506 as I am now, I don't know if that's a possibility. And having Aaron is like having 6, to be honest. So I don't know about the children, but definitely I desire to be in a healthy, loving relationship.
We tease about this all the while. I'm your good friend, and I have 2 huge, huge shoulders.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here anytime you need me.
I know.
And thanks
Thank you.
again for inviting me to do this.
Yeah.
I love you. Plenty.
I love you too, guys.
All right,
Know that.
that's my part. What
All
happens
right.
now?
Before we go to break, folks, you recently would have heard about the passing of Arif Cooper, to whom I was married for 13 years and with whom I share the most beautiful child. Arif passed away unexpectedly in March, and I continue to send love to his family, his friends, and his colleagues. May his soul rest in peace. Have a look at this before we go to break.
So I was fortunate to work with Arif Cooper through most of my 20s. Arif was my main producer at Fresh Air Records. One of the things that always stood out for me was with Arif was just how much of a musical genius he really was. Being a selector slash DJ for as long as he was, he had a really good ear for hit songs and for just good music and music that people would like.
To me, Arif Cooper is my hero, my big brother. Arif Cooper never really liked when we say friend, when we talk about a relationship. Arif Cooper always want me to say, brother. One heap of people Arif touched through, in music and in personality. He have a very warm, welcoming personality,
Yeah, he just had a really good pulse on the music industry, on our industry, He which is why he was able to be so successful with even the reggae stuff as well, to not just the dancehall.
That is how I choose to remember Arif Cooper, as my hero. Arif Cooper, I miss you, I'm a brother. Not a days go by a lot after the tragic incident that I think about you. Tears stop for now, but the sadness is still there. I miss you, brother. I love always, brother. Big up.
The Jamaican music scene will definitely miss Arif Cooper. Rest in peace, Arif Super Cooper.
Okay, when we come back, I have a very special guest who has become a great source of help and a great resource in my life. Counseling psychologist Sonja Winter is here with me when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. So if you're a faithful viewer of this show, you'll know the special place this lady has held in my life and in my heart. When my mom passed in March of 2021, Sonja was there for me and for my family. And this year, when I realized my I have it all together modus operandi was going down the tubes, I called her because she's helped me through previous moments when I could not see my way. So we welcome counseling psychologist Sonja Winter, who's here with me now. Hi. And here you are again. You're always showing up when I need you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Yeah.
including me.
Yes, because You've given me tools, Sonia, to help me through many difficult and dark days. And you know my mission is to impart whatever I can from my own experience to help the folks who are watching. And I'm not unique to grief and loss. And there are many people who are losing many people in quick succession. And so I want to start where I started with you at the beginning of this year when I reached out to you and I said to you, Sonia, I'm not doing so well. Something is not right. Because you know Simone has always been the strong one. And I felt things slipping and I reached out to you. Let's talk about this notion of, I want to start with compartmentalization, or thinking that you had dealt with something, probably parked it, and realizing that it never really goes so. That is a thing.
It is,
Yeah.
it is, it is. The thing about grief, Simone, is that it's comes hot on the heels of a loss, of course, you know? And when we lose, the difficult part of the journey is the internal experience that we have, the emotions that come up, and the difficult thoughts that come up, you know? And our journey is one of navigating those thoughts and feelings, because that's our humanity at work, you know, trying to make sense of it, trying to extract meaning from these events. That's what our emotional experience is really about, you know. And but you have to be willing, you have to have the tools, you have to have the ability, the knowledge to know how to be with those emotions and to navigate them, because we can feel so destabilized by those emotions, you know. And so sometimes they can come back and kind of tap us on the shoulder and say, excuse me, you know, there's something left here. There's some more meaning here to extract. You're moving on, but you haven't, there's more.
Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah, particularly when you are spending a lot of your time trying to make sure everybody else is okay, which is what happened to me with Mommy. And when I came to you, it was because I was getting a lot of flashbacks and re-loops of things that happened around the time that she passed, and I was like, oh, what is this? And then when the situation happened the other day with Arif's passing, it kind of like triggered everything else, and I just had to kind of I couldn't do the let's push. Compounded grief. Can we talk about that? What is that? How do you work through that?
Compounded grief is when we experience a series of losses in what feels like a brief time in our lifetime, relatively brief time, you know, one after the other, after the other, after the other. You know, it can be loss of a loved one and then a loss of another person, or it can be also compounded by loss of livelihood, loss of a sense of security, loss of an important relationship, a diagnosis. All of those things create a loss that, if they happen in quick succession, it's almost like you don't get a chance to process them, to be with them, to catch your breath, to sit up again and, you know, move forward and engage before another set comes, you know. And so sometimes we can feel really overwhelmed. Like, you know, have you ever been in a wave and the wave sort of hits you and you kind of tumble and you don't know which way is up? You can't catch your feet, you're getting bruised as you're, you know, going around. And that can happen sometimes when we don't have a chance to kind of sit and be with ourselves, our values, our meaning, because these things happen so quickly.
So how do you work through that? How does one work through that? How does the person who's watching today saying, I can't catch a break, I need a break?
Okay, the first thing to catch a break is understanding that to be human is really difficult, because life is complex, it's messy, it's often not the way we want it to be, you know? And so to confront that is difficult. It's hard on human beings to be human. Then self-compassion is always the first step, to be gentle and patient with yourself.
Give yourself grace.
To the extent that you have the ability and the support, it's to confront every single one of those losses, one by one. understanding the emotions that come with each one of those losses, every single emotion if you can, you know, and understanding what you can extract from those emotions, you know, how you can, what you want to, what does this, you know, those losses can give you a perspective if you sit with them, you know. They give you an opportunity to redefine what's important to you, and they open the door to live purposefully again, you know. Kind of, as I said, I think of it as somebody tapping. You know, there's a metaphor that loss and grief and difficult emotions are almost like a puppy tugging on you to say, wake up, wake up, wake up. There's something important here that you need to pay attention to. And it's about how do you engage with your life in an important and meaningful way.
Gotcha.
You know? So it's being able to process that and going through it. Also, recognizing that your values are important, you know, what you want to stand for in life, what you want your life to be about, you know, and Simone, you have the opportunity to do that, you know, you have such meaning in your life and experiences, you know, and it's always, how do I show up to these experiences and create that meaning even in the face of adversity and what I'm going through, because what I'm experiencing is a signpost for how to move forward.
Yeah. Do we really have, as we head to break, the tools as human beings to get through these tough situations? Because there are people who are watching who are saying, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I can't do this. Do we really have the tools, Sonja?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We can access the tools. Yes, we can.
And that's through help.
Indeed.
From people like yourself.
Sometimes people get to it on their own, you know. Sometimes they do. Sometimes loved ones and family members can help them too, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes their faith is what walks them through and opens those doors of understanding for them. And sometimes it is a professional, yes.
Yeah. But always with time. That's the most important part, is not an overnight fix.
Absolutely.
It takes
Absolutely.
time. All right, Sonja's going to stay. When we come back, I have a very special guest with me. You folks ask me about this person all the time. So stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So the only person you guys asked me about more than Aaron is this guy sitting in the chair with me, who's had a rough couple of years too. But I've watched him navigate a new and difficult road with strength and grace. And I figured, since we're checking in, I begged him to be here today, and he gave in, and he's sitting in the big chair. Hey, Pa.
Hi, Dada.
What's going on?
I'm well.
Good, good, good. I'm happy to have you here. I had said Sonja was going to be back, but I think perhaps it's good that Dad and I talk through this segment together. The first question I always get asked, and that you get asked when you go on the road now, because you're a big, he's a big celebrity now. Them call him Mr. Cooper, them call everything. But
I don't have an identity
I'm
anymore.
telling you, you're Simone's dad.
I'm Simone's dad.
I'm sorry about that, Pa, but not really. How are you? How are you doing?
Fine is an understatement, but I'm good. Should I tell you the truth?
Yeah. Well,
Lonely
yes.
and incomplete. But I am going on. I am better than where I was 2 years ago or a year ago. It's not a walkover. It's not something that I am getting over, but it's something I'm going through.
Right. Well, that's the only way out. It's through, right?
Through, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You have up days. You have down days. What keeps you up on the up days, and what gets you through on the down days? Because you've also been meeting a lot of people who are going through what you're going through, Pop.
Indeed, indeed. And this could be an opportunity to say to those I have close friends who are going through a similar situation, that I don't like to use the word, this too shall pass. It sounds a little bit too easy to say it, but it will. Not that you're going to pass. You will always have it with you. But in other words, the pain and the aches will get lesser and lesser. And that's what's happening to me. I try not to think too much. What keeps me going are my good friends. I have some real good friends who are in my corner. And we can laugh and we can talk about things. But the facts still remain. When the evening is over and you're going home, for me, I wish home was another 50, 60 miles away from where I live.
Yeah.
I wish I never had to go home so quickly because it's not the same. When you lose a spouse, and I say this to all those who are out there listening, your world changes. The entire world changes.
And I suppose that you've been married to for almost half a century.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want anybody to know my age, but I want to tell you something
Oops,
that
sorry,
you don't remember. But I married when I was 20. I wasn't fully 21. And I can say it publicly, my wife and myself had a great marriage.
Yeah.
I just didn't have a wedding. I had a marriage. There's a difference between a wedding and a marriage. I had a marriage and it lasted. And it was tough and still hurts when you look to see that, yes, you know, yesterday, Sim, and you don't remember this, or you didn't want to say anything.
Of course I remember.
Yesterday would have been
The anniversary
the anniversary
of your
of
wedding.
our wedding. Yesterday would have been 51 years since we were married.
But it would also have been the day when we laid her to rest, because you insisted
It was also, yes.
that we bury her on
Indeed.
your anniversary.
It was the day when I buried her on, or you say, but how can you do that? Friends are saying to me, Vincent, how can you do that? Until death us do part.
Yeah.
And it's a decision I had to make. It was quite symbolic for me. And you can't be, I'm a marriage officer, and you can't be telling people that until death us do part. Say it after me. Say after me. And now it's my time to accept that and say it to myself. So yesterday was a very rough day too, but it's getting easier as the death gets older.
Time is the greatest healer,
Yeah,
right?
time,
That's the greatest
time.
salve. If you're not
Marky,
sure,
but
you're
they
gonna
say
say
time. They say that time heals a broken heart. But for me, time has stood still. I don't see time. To me, it was just like yesterday.
Well,
Hasn't changed
it's
a
hard
bit.
then.
But the
still-
pain gets a little easier to
Yeah,
bear.
you learn how to manage it better. I don't
Manage
think
it
it's
better.
easier, but you learn how to manage it better.
And thank God for some extremely good friends in my life.
Yeah.
And we can sit down and talk and laugh. And you know, it's so funny, Sim. Sometimes when you have fun and laugh, after you finish, you feel a little guilt. But how can you laugh?
Still, Pa?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. How can you be happy and laughing when your wife is gone? You know, you feel a little guilt still there.
But your life has to continue.
Have to continue.
And you know she'd want that for you. She'd
Yeah,
want you to be
yeah,
happy.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, for those who are experiencing the same thing, it's a long road ahead of us, for us. And time has stood still for me. The 30th of March 2021 is just fresh in my mind every day.
yeah. Well, we all continue to rally as a family, and the support is really key. And Dad alluded to some friends. He's had some friends who've been there, but there is one in particular who's been amazing, and I'll tell you why on the other side. Have a look at this.
Hey, my brother Vincent Clark, my brother and my friend. Thank you for the privilege of walking with you through this very dark and painful time of your life. We've really had some laughter together. We've shared tears together and shared the stories. You have really shown me what faith looks like in dark times and what faithfulness to God and to your marriage looks like. Vincent, you are a great man, and I'm privileged to have you as a friend. By the way, it's time for us to have another dinner together. So I'll see you on Friday. God bless you, Vincent. God bless you.
So let's tell folks that story. Reverend Esther Carlisle did not know my father. And when Mommy passed, he reached out to me to ask me, and I didn't even know him well either, you know. He got my number from Auntie Faye, and bless you, Auntie Faye Ellington. And he reached out to Dad. And from that time, it's like fast friends, a house on fire, and the level of support, Reverend Esther, that you have been for this man is unparalleled. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much. Do you want to say anything to him, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, Esther, well, I should call him Reverend Esther, but we talk about his Esther and Vincent. So that showed the level of friendship. That gentleman, as I said, not knowing him, came into my life through you. And we've been talking on regular occasions. And one day I said to him, I can recall vividly saying to him, listen, we've been talking on the telephone, on the WhatsApp here. I would love to put
a face
to the person. And he said, all right, man, let's go, man. So we arranged to meet at a usual location that we meet, not knowing who I was going to see except the picture on the on the
phone,
WhatsApp
display picture.
You know, and when the gentleman walked through the door, I said, that has to be the guy. And he walked up to me and said, what happened, Vincent?
And the rest.
And the rest is history.
It's history.
Indeed.
God bless
Very
him.
great guy. I mean, that is what Christianity is all about. And he bowled some hardball sometime, you know. Ask some pointed questions.
Yeah, well, when the two of us are on the phone, I have to come out of the room because it's pure laughing. It's ridiculous. But bless you, Rev. One more message before we go to break with Pa, and then we come back and wrap the show.
Hi, Mommy. Hi, Grandpa. It's Irene here, as you can see. But I just wanted to let you know that I know things are kind of hard right now, especially for Mommy, but like both of you at the same time, it's going kind of rough for our family. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I love you both very much, and it's gonna get better from here on. It's gonna get much better. Love you both. Bye.
That's my grandchild.
That's my daughter. Let's not fight.
That's my grandchild.
She belongs to me. And she is wise beyond her years and strong beyond her years. Papa, we continue to rally. We have each other and we just continue. Hard knocks there are, but we just continue to rally.
Yeah, I'll be good. I'll be good.
We'll be good. One step at a time.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We're back to lead the show after this. Okay, welcome back to the show, everybody. It is our final segment, and essentially all we have time for is our affirmation. Again, I want to thank you all so much for your kindness and to remind you that no matter what you face, you are stronger than you know. Surround yourself with people who pour into you and uplift your spirit, and leave the rest to Him who knows it all. With that said, let's go. Here's our affirmation. Okay, so shattered, but you're not broken, wounded, but time will heal. Heavy the load, the cross we bear, lonely the road we trod, and there, shaken, but here we stand, weary, still we press on. Long are the nights and the tears that we cry, and dark are some days we see no sun in the sky. Yet still we rise, never to give up, never to give in against all odds. Yet still we rise high above the clouds, and at times we feel low, but still we rise. Go look up that song, everybody. If you're at the bottom, once you can look up, you can get up. Keep your eyes to the hills. That's where your help is. Let faith be your fuel, and do not look back. You're not going that way. Remember, sorrows become success, and as we aim for the top, we will pause if we must, but we will never stop. Tonight we affirm, no matter what life throws my way, I can catch it and make it part of life's play. That is our soul food and our show for this evening and for this season. Season 7 is over. Thank you so much for being here with us, everybody, for watching and for participating. We're back on your television sets, on your gadgets, in a couple of months, so please take good care of yourselves until then. And until that time, every blessing. And please remember to do what, Daddy? To count your blessings. Take care, everybody.